So we're at Church Lane, and Church Lane is one of two level crossing boxes on Peak Rail. The other box is Darley Dale, just down there, about a quarter of a mile down there, to the other end of the loop. Church Lane controls one end of the passing loop, and Darley Dale controls the other. We have absolute block between the two sections, fully track circuited, so it's the best of track circuit block, but it's absolute block working. So we don't need the well-in winder because it's completely track circuited. The points are set for exiting, so we can only allow one train in at a time into the loop because there's no overrun there. As for track points, etc. And we have a Liverpool and Manchester company frame. Let me show you down there on the end. 15 levers. We have 5 in use presently. We have a set of motor points, which is an economical point. An electro-pneumatic point. It's a Joss lock. We have our release lever for the frame number 4, which is electrically and mechanically released. The set of 4 crossing gates there, which are skewed, have some bolt locks on them. Once the bolt locks are put through, the key is turned, that frame key comes upstairs, which Ray's going to do now. And that releases the frame. Now at the moment we're doing single line working, so Ray's just flagging the trains through there and handing the token over. And that's because the down line at the moment has got a defect on it, so we're just doing a repair on that. So we're just doing single line working on the up line. Block instruments, as I mentioned, between Darley and here. We have motor points, as I mentioned. We also have full track circuit indications. With the motor points, we have a power failure indicator as well for the mains and the standby supply. Token indication is also indicated. We have a token machine between here and Roseley, which is a no signaler token machine. So that the shed staff can work their end and get the keys out as needed. The keys are a bit unique. They were designed because the machine at the other end fits into a lock cupboard and there's not much room to the door. So it's a dual-ended key, the tyres key on one end and an annex key on the other for the ground frame at Roseley North and Roseley South. The labelling is actually stamped on the handle. We do have a degraded method of operation here as well, should the token have a problem, and that's where this comes into play. This is the old staff key, that's the ground frame section of the key, and also we have a small electrical release key at the top, which works as a small key switch there. And how that works is, should you have any problems with the token machine, you can go back to the degraded method by locking the token key in the token machine either end. You break the glass, there's a chain and key on the end of that to unlock this, and that frees both the padlock there to free the degrading key, so that the driver can still have a key to work his ground frame at the other end, but also that small electrical key there. What happens there, you place it into the key switch, turn it, it gives you one pull of your starting signal, and then you have to take the key back out. You can't take the key out and leave it in the release position. So it's a line clear stick circuit, and that allows you to then get one release on number 14, which is your starting signal. Just down there, number 14, you can't really see it. It's right down there in the trees. It is provided with indication. And we have a free indication as well for release on either the token machine or the starting key. For the degraded working, we do have point heaters at both boxes as well. They're also indicated. And the Midland signals, number 6 down there and number 13 just tucked in there. They're both lower quadrant Midland posts, 1927 posts. The bases have been cut and retrimmed and redressed. So number 6 is provided with a back lock, obviously because it's facing into a set of motor points. So that's provided with a back lock as well. Darley Dale signal box is a new build signal box built in the style of an LMS ground level cabin. It's used as a Windows X Glendon North, and it operates the other end of the passing loop from Church Lane. It's a mirror image of Church Lane, albeit here everything is upper quadrant, so we have some standard pegs, number 5 and 7 down there, ground signal for the wrong line direction working, and number 5 for the main line. Slightly elevated there off the ground. Obviously we had problems with flooding down here because we are next to the River Derwent. All mechanical points at this end, and Darley also works the level crossing gates. 2 big steel level crossing gates made at the Tunstall Quarry Works back in the early 1990s. Electric locks mirroring those from Astley level crossing on the Liverpool to Manchester line, so the signaller can release them electrically, providing the tracks are clear afterwards and all the signals have been put back to danger. There is an override on them as well. The override's quite a simple little affair. We have a pull cord on the front through a release hatch there. We'll have our push button for electrically picking the locks. The old level crossing lamps are away at repair at the moment, so we've got temporary level crossing lamps on. Signals wise coming from Darley Dale. Appreciate it's quite a busy level crossing this. The bracketed Midland signal over there will be going soon. That will be getting replaced. The original Darley Dale footbridge used to go just in front of the telephone box there to the signal, and that is getting put back. Currently we've got new bits made for that and everything. That's going back in. So when that goes back in, this signal is going back to being a straight Midland post again. You can see number 14 signal I mentioned before for Church Lane. The bracket that's down there in the distance, that came from the Nottinghamshire, Sheffield area, was recovered. And there's also a small, you can't really see it, there's a small Midland ground signal number 2 down there, which we can also do wrong line working from. And that allows us to use Darley Dale as a bit of a run round. This way towards Riverside, it's worked off the electric staff key, which is similar to the degraded key at Church Lane that you saw before. It just allows one release of your starting signals, either number 2 or number 1, which you can just see there on the crossings. There's full overlap provided in the down direction there past number 14. The up direction, there's a very short overlap obviously from number 1 to the crossing gate itself. Darley Dale is a 7-lever knee-style ground frame with the cabin built around it, which is a new build cabin as I previously mentioned. Jerry's just closing the gates now. As soon as the gates are approved locked, he'll come in and release the signal. The release buttons on the frame used to be AWS push buttons mounted down on the floor. We moved away from them, just put some push buttons up on the block shelf to make life easier. Plus, obviously, spares are getting harder and harder. As I mentioned, we have our block instrument to Church Lane, and today we're single line working as such due to a problem with a set of fish plates on the down. We have the point heaters the same as we had before, platform bell, power on and off switch, and we have some indications there, etc. to Church Lane and for our track circuits, etc. The electric staff key that we use is a Fortress style staff key, again same as at Church Lane. You can only turn it once, you can only get it in the release position. You have to get it back to the normal to release it, so you can't leave a line clear stuck up as well. There is plans to put a calling on signal back. Originally this was number 6 signal, a mechanical calling on signal. That later got used for a ground frame release down at North Yard, which is no longer there. And there are plans to put a colour light calling on signal back in on the post with 5 and 7, which is just down there. It was number 5. Sorry, it was number 7 that was cleared before, which is the small ground signal that's hidden behind the telephone exchange down there. You can't really see, so we have actually provided an indication for it as well.